What up? Welcome to Homegrown Hustle, where local brilliance takes the center stage. I'm your host, Matt Eickman. Join us every week in celebrating innovation, guidance, and the power to inspire greatness. Let's explore the stories that shape our local business landscape, and together, let's ignite the spark of excellence.
What's up, hustlers? Matt Eickman here again. I'm with Michelle Hamilton. She runs an awesome business just outside of Rochester, but they sell a lot of really holistic products. And I really learned about her on my wife's podcast, Mama Soda. And after that episode she recorded, I remember a few conversations with her about your story. And so I'm really excited that we finally get to connect it and talk a little bit more about the business side. I know Mama Soda, you talked a little bit about balance, but a lot of the momming is what it's about. So let's dive into it, Michelle, and just introduce yourself, tell everybody about your business, and then we can start talking business after that.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me today. I'm excited to be here. My name's Michelle Hamilton. I'm the founder and CEO of Dandelion Naturals. We've been in business for almost 3 years. This fall will be 3 years. And we manufacture all natural body care products for the home and for the body. And we have a lot of great gift items. It all started in my kitchen in Hayfield, Minnesota, which is wild to think about now. And it quickly scaled up from there. But yeah, so there's a lot to tell, and we'll probably get into that. But that's the nuts and bolts of it. It's a true passion of mine and something that I've been into for a really long time.
So growing up, were you like planning on, hey, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to be a business owner? Or could you talk a little bit about like what was like the light bulb or that like what pushed you over the edge where you're like, I'm gonna do this?
Yeah, entrepreneurship was not in my blood. I wanted to be a teacher, I think. I wanted to be a chiropractor. I ended up being a nurse, a registered nurse, 4-year degree. Was going to pursue my master's degree. I did that for 21 years. Kind of quit it just cold turkey in January of 2022. It was a difficult decision, but there's more to all of that. But I really wanted to hone in on all of my passions with holistic living and told my husband I was going to make soap for a living. So it's obviously evolved quite a bit from there, but I thought, why not? Let's see where this goes. So I do have entrepreneurs in my family. My great grandfather was a grocery store owner in early Iowa, and I didn't get to see it, but I've heard a lot of great stories.
You heard about it. Okay.
Yeah, you were in me. Yeah. So
Okay. So at that point in your life, that's kind of like COVID coming out of it a little bit. So when you decided you were going to do it, had you already started making sales and doing that? Like, were you making soap already for yourself? How did we get to this product?
they do not have a good story for the soap. I really don't. I don't.
Where did you learn to make soap?
I taught myself.
My goodness.
I took a huge deep dive into soap making in January. It was like I was studying for another degree. It was really wild. I read a lot of books. I watched a lot of videos, but self-taught. There's a lot of science in it. I'm kind of a science nerd. It's funny. It like kind of correlates with my nursing background, I feel like. So I feel like I picked
Well,
up
that makes
on it.
sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. But prior to that, I had done a lot of brewing my own kombucha. We had our sourdough bread and we did
Hmm.
tinctures and herbal things. We grew wild herbs on our acreage. So I dabbled in that part of it, but the soap was brand new. So
That's fascinating to me. I'm even more inspired by your story now because going from nursing, like pretty much had a full career. I listened to the podcast, like I said, and sounded like you and your husband had a whole life before your children came around, right? And now you have your children, and there's this other iteration of now you're a business owner, and you're crushing it too, which
yeah.
is super cool. So when you were like, I'm a business owner now, what were some of the things you did right away?
Well, the realization, first of all, that I'm a business owner took a long time to sink in for sure.
Mm,
I remember the day where I was driving. I remember the temperature outside. That feeling, I'll never forget it, of we're really doing this and this is actually working. There was a lot of
mm,
doubt in the beginning, and I think that's normal. am I really going to be, because I was a nurse. I had a 9 to 5 job, Monday through Friday. It was steady. I had amazing benefits, all the things. And then when you go out on your own, it's super scary. But I was passionate about it and I believed in myself. So yeah, so it's been a transition.
Mhm.
It just doesn't happen overnight. But the more that you pour into it and you see the results, I'm totally motivated by that. And I know I'm where
Mhm.
I'm supposed to be. We've made a ton of sacrifices to get where we are, but it's a sacrifice, but when you're doing something you're passionate about, it doesn't feel heavy. I don't know how to explain it. And you're doing it for your
Hey,
family,
you're preaching to the choir right here. I mean, it's like for me, the fuel to the fire is my family, and having that. Once I had my son, our oldest, something just changed, and like I was a hard worker. I was raised with good work ethic and all those things. There was just a different type of focus that happens once you like now you made it. You're part of making it human, and you're responsible for making sure that there's things that are provided for them, and that I'm doing my job. So a sacrifice and almost not even realizing it's sacrifice until after the fact sometimes. Man, like I got goosebumps when you were saying that, because that any business owner out there that's really grinding and trying to grow something that they're passionate about, they might not know it until maybe they hear this, but that is a really, really lonely place to be sometimes. And especially when there isn't some type of outside reference where you can understand, hey, I'm having success. Like, because to you, everything's brand new. So, how do we even define success early on in business? So, for you now, Michelle, how many years into business are you?
it'll almost be 3 this
Okay.
fall.
So almost three, but from another perspective, only 3 years since you taught yourself how to make soap and started a business. You've purchased a building to do
Yes.
that out of. So now you have additional wealth creation for yourself and your family through that asset, which so many business owners never do. So shout out to you for doing that right from the beginning. And now you're just growing and growing and growing within that. So what's your vision for this? Because it doesn't seem like you're gonna just bail on it anytime soon. I feel like you're pretty committed. Where do you see it going? And like, at your business stage right now, what are you trying to really accomplish?
It's a great question. There's so much new all the time, like you said. First, I think what's really important to me is because I get a lot of outside noise from folks, not necessarily that know what we're doing. They have a lot of ideas because they've seen our success or our growth, and they think, you need to get your products in front of these influencers and, just blow it up. And I'm like, okay, that's not my vision. We've really loved organic growth from the beginning. Like we started going to markets our first year, like in-person events, art fairs, farmers markets, those kinds of things. And I think that was huge for us. So we wanted to interact with our customers. We wanted to see what they wanted, what they liked, what they didn't like. It was awesome. That really fuels me to be with people, but it's a lot of
Same.
work. It's a lot
So
of work.
can I ask you? So the first dollar you made was at one of those events?
Yeah, we actually just celebrated our 4th event. It was our very first event. It was in our community. It's called Marigold Days in Manorville, Minnesota, 20 minutes from here. And it's, of all things, it's a flea market, but it's where the
Hmm.
whole community gets together, and we do very well there. Like our sales almost, actually this year, I think they exceeded one of our biggest art fair sales. So,
So is
it,
that so when you're talking revenue, like first of all, a lot of people never do that. Like especially in the newer businesses that are popping up, a lot of it is just what you're saying, where it's like, let's make this and just figure out how to drop ship it or get it onto Amazon and just sell it that way. So you went the other way. So is there anything that allowed you to learn from the customer and those interactions you were having that informed the development of the product over time?
It did. When we first started, I had 50 different variety of soap bars. And I did that, I think, not knowing it then, but looking back, I think it was a good
Hmm.
thing. It seems like a lot, but there was a wide variety. And probably 50% of those are still part of our product line, where the other 50% we saw right away they're not selling.
Nobody's
What
buying them. Yeah.
Right. What do they want? So, yeah, it gives us a lot of insight. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with going to Amazon and doing the drop shipping thing, but quality to me is really, really important. And I don't want to scale quickly. I
Mhm.
don't know that that's ever going to be in our future. We
Well,
really
I
like,
hate to tell you, sister, but you're scaling quickly. I hate to tell you.
well, we'll see where it goes, but we really want to be a huge part of the quality process.
Hmm.
And one of my passions in this business is part of being on the production team, because currently we're trying to figure out, there's so many hats to wear in a small business. And I have definitely reached my capacity on what I can handle. And in order to continue to grow, you have to source those things out. And we're in that
Hmm.
stage right now of figuring out who's going to do what. I mean, we have a team, more needs to be divided out, especially as we keep adding
Okay.
things on. So,
So, so you've built a team. So that's something that's also very difficult to do. Can we
yep.
talk a little bit about what it was like building the team that you have? Because anybody out there that is trying to scale or has accidentally scaled, like you
Yeah.
have, and built a team through that process, it's one of the harder things that has to happen in order for the business to grow. So tell me about that journey for you. Had you ever hired anybody before? Where?
I've been part of hiring process in the healthcare
Okay,
world. I did a lot of my
that helps.
previous positions were in management. I
Hmm.
was the overnight hospital supervisor in one of our small community hospitals. So again, that has transferred over into this position. But yeah, I felt super vulnerable. I think I was scared. I didn't want people having bad intentions of coming in and stealing proprietary information. That's like huge. I started everything from the ground. I didn't copy recipes. I created my own recipes. And you're going to ask people to come in and start creating things. But we started small. I started in our home studio in our basement. I just had another mom that wanted to get out of the house. We started with that. It was a couple hours a week. And I saw how beneficial that was. And quickly, I saw the need for more. And a lot of the gals that work with us have been through word of mouth, which I'm very grateful for. We
Hmm.
have posted on Indeed, and we've gone that route a couple times, but I think it's still scary for me, but it's necessary. So I don't know if that's helpful, but that's been my
No,
journey.
no, that's very helpful. So maybe now let's go to like in your mind what you were thinking about when you were like, "Hey, I need more than just me," the first
Hmm.
time, and then maybe like those different steps. Like, what was changing? Is it really just all production and the sales were happening organically, or did you ramp up your activity in sales, and like how did it all come about from the hiring standpoint?
I think it was just seeing that I was working 7 days a week, and it
Mm,
was in our house, and there was no work-life balance. It was just too easy to go to the basement and do a couple things,
yeah.
and my husband and I recognized that we need more help. I mean, it was, I
Mhm.
think, a culmination of things. Sales were increasing. We were going to markets. I remember our home studio, we were literally out of space. We tried to make use of, I think it was 900 square feet, and we were out of space. We couldn't scale anymore. And then this building came available, and that opened up a lot of doors. I'll be honest, we're already out of space here.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. It's crazy though. It's like, get
What a
this, like,
great problem to have, though. Like, there's always going to be problems in business, right, Michelle? There's always going to be problems in business. I like that problem way better than I can't make payroll problem. Don't you?
sure. Yeah, 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 yeah. And I tend to not think of it that way, so it's great to hear that. It's like, wow, what is happening? So it's
Well,
good. And
like
we have a plan.
there's stress in business in life everywhere, right? That there's always going to be stress, but there's really are two types of stress. There's de-stress, which is like a destructive breakdown, but there's eustress, which is like the type of stress you get from going and working out and going for a walk or a run. And that's a productive type of stress, right? But it's hard to really think about it that way. There's just so much and it's just always there. And even just having time to like think, you don't have time to think. You just got to do stuff because there's a lot to do and there's more that's going to come. And it's like this never ending cycle at times, right? But there's a reason why business owners don't just, well, some business owners don't just bail on that and go right back into the corporate world. There's something about it. So what was that like? Why do you keep deciding to keep being a business owner and an entrepreneur? Because we
It's
all get to keep deciding that.
We do, and it's exciting. I wake up every day and I literally love what I do. I've never been this tired in my life, even when I was a brand new mom. I worked overnights in the ER. I've never been this tired, but there is something that just keeps fueling me to keep going. I'm just super passionate about what I get to do. And it is a get to do every day. I don't
Yeah,
have to do this.
you get to.
Yeah, and of
I
course,
love
there's
that.
hard days. There's really hard days, right? But we gotta just check, why are we doing this? And the customers, I think, just they motivate me so much.
Hmm.
We've been able to help a lot of people through my nursing career and knowledge. I can't believe how many people have come to us with sensitivities, their skin sensitivities and questions and things that
I'm
we've been
one of those guys.
it's
Like
so
I grew
common.
up with that. Well, so
Yeah,
could you talk a little bit about like that part of it? Like,
yeah,
yes, it's more natural and organic, but like the science side of it really does impact all of us as
yeah,
humans. Like we run an environmentally conscious pest control company for a reason, and that's right in line with what you're doing here. Like, and when we're putting it intentionally on our skin, our hair, or whatever, that's the biggest organ in our body, and it's
it
just
is.
getting absorbed right in there. So, could you talk a little bit about that side of your business?
Yeah. I feel like when I worked in conventional medicine, and I don't have a problem with conventional medicine, I feel like there's a place for both sides. And I think we need more of the holistic side to come and join in with a conventional medicine because there is so much available to us that is natural and it works. Like that's the key, it works. So why not
Thanks.
try that? It's better for us, it's better for our environment. We're really big on trying to source things that are the raw material, it's plastic free, it's better for our environment.
Mhm.
Yeah, the efficacy of it is really key because I think people think, that's all poo poo or whatever they want to say, but it actually works. And we have a lot of customer testimonies about that. And it's fun getting people to realize that.
And that type of stuff can change people's lives too. Like one of my brothers has had eczema
Yes.
until he started changing like the products and the things in his life and the things he ate, and like
Yes.
goes away. It's amazing, but sometimes it becomes an afterthought. So I love that you're having the success that you are. That means more people are thinking that way. That's for the earth. That's good for everybody out there. So I love that those sales are for your products and other products like that are going up and to the right. That's what we're like. We want it to keep growing because that's people's health, and that's really what's important. Whether it's our kids or ourselves or pets, our homes. Like if we don't have that, what do we really have?
Yep. I 100% agree with you. And we get that eczema. My daughter had eczema too. And
Mm,
it's a bear. I'm a nurse. It got so bad. At one point, I went into the hospital or the doctor's office and I'm like, what is this? Like, is this scabies? I've never seen anything so bad. And they're like, no, it's a severe case of eczema. And I'm like, what is causing this? And you were talking about the diet. It's not
mm,
just what you put on your skin. That's definitely important, but it's also our gut. We need to heal our gut. And there's just so many components to it. But I'm just I'm really honored to be a part of that space and to help
mhm.
people in the right
So
direction.
have you found a community to kind of learn some of this? Because I mean, you started from scratch here, and you kind of like had to almost shift some of how you were thinking about health and medicine through that whole process. That's pretty. It's pretty
Yeah,
interesting to me. It, from where I'm sitting as a business owner, I've been doing it for like 10 years. I'm still learning crap every day, and I had somebody teach me the actual product or the service coming in. You didn't even get that. Like I like you there's a lot more learning also from the what am I selling? Like what am I bringing value to people and how like that knowledge base is also developing. Could you talk a little bit about like how you've learned the things you've had to learn both about the products as well as business?
yeah.
I think that's really interesting.
I think it brings me back to 2011. I saw a holistic chiropractor in Rochester. I had an autoimmune liver disorder. I think I was diagnosed in 2018, and there was not a lot of direction from the doctors on things other than medicine. Here's the medicine, take this. No real answers on what caused it, why it happened. So I'm going to be 46 this year. So it's been a long time since that occurred. And I think that is where my curiosity started. And then maybe searching from that age to 2011 when I met this holistic chiropractor. He
Mm.
like opened my eyes to, and it's so basic stuff. It's basic stuff, but just whole foods and how that affects your health. Things
Right.
that, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, this is basic, but it works. And so I took a lot of his advice and I saw changes in myself. And I think
Mm.
when we personally see those changes, like, yeah, why not? Why would I not believe in this and tell other people about it? So
Yeah. I
that's where
mean,
it's
my mom always says proof's in the pudding. Like if that's the result and you're feeling it on a very real level in yourself, like the belief in a product and an idea, once you've had something like that happen, it makes it so much easier to sell. Because one of the biggest hurdles like we have when we're trying to grow our sales team and have like the business grow through other people talking about it is the belief in what we do. And as a business owner, obviously we throw ourselves into this and the quality and care and whatever we have is like way up here. And my fear was that it would just drop down and people wouldn't give a darn about it. But how can we expect that they would actually
well,
care about our business as much as us?
you got to find your niche. And I
Hmm.
remember my marketing team in the beginning told me, well, who's your ideal customer? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like that lingo alone was like so foreign to me. And now it's not.
Hmm.
But I don't think that I was able to find who my customer was in the beginning without doing all of the research and the in
Hmm.
person communicating. We've honed in on that throughout the last 3 years and figured out who that is. But yeah, I think a lot of it is I'll learn as you go. And you were just talking about how can we get other people to be passionate about what we're doing. It reminded
Hmm.
me of this story. I was talking to another entrepreneur and I'll never forget this. He told me, I don't, he makes products and he just said, I don't use this crap myself. I was like, what? Like, if you don't believe in your product, who is going to believe in your product? Like, it just made me sad, honestly. Like, you got to believe in what you're doing for other people to believe in what you
Well,
do.
it sure does make it a lot freaking easier to grow
Yeah.
the business when the belief is there, right? If the belief isn't there, I'm thinking about it, it just seems kind of dirty. Like, I don't
Yeah, it
know.
just didn't, it felt kind of like a lie to me, but
But
maybe,
when you're bringing team members in, they're not the business owner. They're just looking for a job and they want to do a good job. And for something like yours, you could just be like, here, try it. Or maybe they've already tried it or something along those lines. Where for me, like they gotta see it and sometimes see it go wrong for a customer because they chose to do it a different way in order to see that it actually works. Like what we put out there, we put it for reasons because like we know it might not happen now, might not happen tomorrow, but like somewhere down the line it's gonna happen. And it's just trying to prevent things like that. That's our business. But for you, your business is helping people clean. Like what are all the different products you have right now?
so we started with the bar soap and that's good for your body, your face, or your hands. That's what we
Hmm.
started with. And then we expanded into like medicinal type salves that, for example, an all purpose salve that was super helpful for our daughter's eczema. And that's just made out of dried herbs, plant herbs, and an oil
Hmm.
and beeswax. And then currently some of our best sellers are our laundry soap. We make a laundry powder and that's been a
Let me get
seller.
some of that.
And shampoo bars have been really
Okay.
popular. And then we do like lip balms, lotion bars.
So with these new products, I mean, the first new product, it sounded like might have been something that was prompted because of something that your daughter was dealing with.
Yep.
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 What about the
Yeah.
other ones?
So the laundry soap, that I actually have a story for. I was making my own laundry soap
Nice.
for our family for a really long time. I don't even remember how long we've been using this recipe. There's a bar in there that I was buying commercially and just shredding ourselves and making the soap. But since then, we love the soap and it works. It's all natural. It's really hard to find like a true all natural laundry product. So we decided let's just sell it and see how it goes. And in the beginning, I was like, this is insane. Like it's labor intensive to make it. And so we've had to figure out it started selling and we had to figure out how to scale up on it. Scalability on some of our products has been really hard to figure out, but there is a way. So we've been able to do that. So yeah, it's a recipe
So
we've been
what are like the limitations to scaling those products? Because if you're
yeah.
running into that, if like obviously if it takes 14 hours to make one unit, like that's not going to be price point that people are going to want to buy probably. Could you talk a little bit about some of the things you had to learn about the limitations there?
Yeah, so when we were in our home studio, for example, it was the
Hmm.
limitation of space. We were starting to order supplies by the pallet. When you're in a residential area, that pallet comes on a freight truck. The freight
Oh
truck is
yeah.
like, I'm not coming down that
Yeah.
drive. Do you got a forklift? I'm like, no, we don't got a forklift. So I literally drive my little Honda Pilot down to the end of the driveway, back up to the semi, and we'd unload it by hand. I'm not kidding. So that was like a key indicator that we were needing more space. And so then shipments of these goods, if you're limited in how much you can get at a time, you're paying way more in shipping throughout the year than you probably should, right? It's
Hmm.
like cheaper if you can buy 6 to 12 months of raw material at a time. And then the storage of equipment. So the more you scale up, the bigger the equipment gets
Yeah.
and the more, space you need. And then all the different products that you introduce, they're all different processes that require different,
God,
you know what I mean?
that's so yeah, tons of
So,
SOPs.
yeah. So that's where I think in my head, I like the craft and I love creating. And the bigger we get, the more I get away from that because you're just a soap factory.
Mhm.
You're just cranking out the same thing all the time.
Well,
So,
people start to rely on you that they're
yep,
investing in you, you're investing in them,
yep,
you care about them, and you want to make sure you're doing right
yep,
by them. Like
correct.
I mean, that becomes the job really, and it it's tough, and I've felt that and wasn't able to identify that like it sounds like you were able to until I was forced back into like jumping on the phones one day when we had a couple people out sick or something crazy happened and I wasn't just going to let the phone ring and not get answered obviously, but that connection with the customer, it's so important for, or at least I believe it's important for a business owner to have that, or whoever's driving the ship, right? Right now, you're driving the ship. So if that thing you're selling to the customer is what gives the fuel to the ship, you want to make sure you are taking care of the person giving you the fuel. But when a business gets big, 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 like it's so disconnected from that transaction. There's all these levels and layers that are put there. So now the decisions are just made on numbers without that like feeling and like the stories behind the feedback. I've been able to find ways to still get it and scale the business, and I bet you'll be able to find it too. But we're evolving. If you're growing, you got to be changing. And with that change, there's uncertainty, but uncertainty means that there's potential for growth. If there
Yeah.
isn't that like challenge and that stress, like you know what you're going to get. And that's a pretty like flat line. Like I
Hmm.
don't want to just coast. I think if you're not pedaling, you're going downhill. So got to be putting in the work and doing that. And like your story, like nobody has any excuse to not start a business. Like you've done all the stuff that people are scared to do and prove that it's possible. And you're having like so much success. Like I'm just really happy to hear that. And I know there's tons of other stories out there. If there's like one or two things like through your journey that you've had so far that you think people listening this could benefit from if they're thinking about going through that or they're kind of already in the first little stage, like what do you think people could benefit from?
I think it's important to just start. I know we probably
Mm,
hear a lot in this world. I don't know. but it is important to just start because my husband and I are very different in this aspect where he's definitely a thinker and wants to make sure that all of the bases are covered. He thinks kind of longer down the road, and that's good because we balance each other out. But
Hmm.
I'm also somebody that just, let's just start it. Let's just go
Yeah.
and see where it goes and try to solve things as we go. Cause there's going to be so many things that we don't
Hmm.
know right now that are going to come up. And it feels kind of reckless at times and definitely have made
I
mistakes.
mean,
It's not mistakes that can't be recovered. It's learning through that process. Of course, there's things I would do differently, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm like really proud of myself for like just doing it. There is no roadmap for this. So, yeah. And then I think making sure people understand again that you're going to make mistakes and just being okay with that and recovering from that and just continuing on. You need to expect to make mistakes.
like when you say people, do you mean like on your team?
Other just
I mean
business
like yourself?
people
Okay.
starting out, people that are wanting to start a business or are starting a
Hmm.
business because I think there's a lot of unknowns and it's scary. You're not
Hmm.
going to be perfect in the
Well,
beginning.
yeah. And it sounds like we've got no, there's no such thing
Yeah,
as perfection, but we can
no.
strive for that and hit excellence along the way. Right. But you ain't going to get there if you don't start. So
Exactly.
it sounds like your relationship with your husband is similar to my wife and mine, but I'm the let's let's get going, and as we're going we can figure that out along the way, because you like you said, there's only so many things that you can be certain about, and the variables and the curveballs that come to you in your business, the grenades that all of a sudden are exploding, you got to figure out, like, if you can figure out how to get that in the plan in a time effective manner and make sure that doesn't happen, great. But in my experience, there's still going to be something that you just can't plan. So if you're taking action, being diligent and consistent, working towards a vision with a purpose behind it, now it's just about enjoying that journey, right? And making sure that you still got revenue coming in, you're taking care of the people, and you're staying true to yourself and like the
Yes.
reason why you did it.
Staying true to myself has been a big thing recently because there's been situations where, without giving specifics, something will come into our business life. You're like, wow, that seems amazing. I'm so excited. And then you like get into the thing and you're like, your gut tells you that's not right. Might not be the right time, or it might be they don't have my best interest. They may not have my same vision. And
Hmm.
while it seems like really amazing, you gotta like take a step back and really evaluate, is this the right thing? Is this us? Is this what we want? So we've had to say no to some really cool opportunities. And I look back and I'm like, I'm really glad I said no. I wasn't
Well,
for
and
that.
that's a powerful thing. But that little lesson of learning to say no, whether
Hmm.
it's to a particular customer or a particular change or modification to how your business operates, like
Yes.
the power of no, like that's what gives you control. If you like let people just bring ideas to you and you've got cash now coming in, and you can see the potential, like you can get the cart in front of the horse pretty quickly there. Like time is money. That's what they say, right? But you can't get back time you've spent in a direction that you didn't actually ever want to go in. So sounds like you got a lot of wisdom. So it's like the way that you think about your business and operate now, can you think to any lessons that you learned early on, like in your childhood or early career, that maybe impact you in your day to day?
I always think about my grandparents, my
Mhm.
maternal, they had a lot of influence on my upbringing, a lot of influence. And my
Mhm.
grandfather was really wise with money. And I think a lot of that was instilled in us. I mean, I can think I was the oldest grandkid. I shared this on another podcast. He sent me to the movie theater with all my cousins and a $20 bill. I don't remember what year it was, but $20, it was probably a lot back then. And it was a lesson because he was expecting me to come back with change.
And
We
you
came
spent
back.
it.
And as the eldest cousin, I got a business lesson that day. And it
He
sticks.
knew what he was doing though. He knew that. Like
You did.
He knew. Like,
Yeah.
how many cousins did you have?
I think there was 5 of us that day, 4 or 5 of us.
And how old were you?
I don't remember, like, had to been middle school or elementary, old
Old
elementary.
enough to trust. Old enough
Yes.
to
Yeah.
trust, right? When you got like I have 4 kids myself. When you got
Yeah.
4 kids like chirping in your ear as an adult, like sometimes like you just give in to like get like be under control and like in one area.
Yep.
But like your sounds like your grandpa knew what was going on. And some of those lessons, like I mean, that's what a low cost lesson for you
Yeah.
to learn.
They were very frugal. They were very hard workers. My grandfather was a farmer. My grandmother was a farm wife. And I think those values were instilled in me at a very
Mhm.
young age. And I had a lot of respect for them. And I'd say we're frugal. We're pretty frugal with our money and we have what we need. So, and we're hard workers. So yeah, I definitely, it
Do you
was them.
think about money in your business and in your like the same way, or has how you thought about money or finances changed at all?
It's tricky. That was a lot to learn in the beginning, a lot. We got a great tax person that has helped us with
Hmm.
some questions, and we're still learning. I think that's a big learning process. But we budget our money in our financial or in our personal life through Dave Ramsey program. It's
Yeah,
old as the hills, but it works.
works though. There's a reason it's still there because it works.
Yep, and we still use that program, and I think that was foundational in our personal life to be able to do what we're doing in our business life. Not saying that's the path that everybody should take, but having your
It's a
finances in order is pretty key.
it's a framework and structure that worked for you in now 2 areas of your life, right? And same thing for me. I mean, I can go out there and make sales with the best of them, and to be honest, like that part of organization, not my forte whatsoever. But it's my job to make sure that it's organized. So I've had to learn those things and develop it and realize, hey, this thing over here, like in our like personal lives, like
Mhm.
we could kind of sort of apply it here too. And it was like a light bulb. But me trying to grow and scale, we've invested a lot into the
Yep,
growth of it.
yep.
Right. And that's a whole nother podcast, I feel like, Michelle. Because I know you got construction going on there. Like we touched on the real estate, but you're expanding, expanding. I bet next time we chat, you're going to tell me that you got another building or you're at like 10 employees or something. I don't know. But what you're doing is really special. And whether you realize it or not, this conversation is now going to give the opportunity to impact other people to hopefully change their lives and the lives of others like you have. And that's why I'm very passionate about being a like an entrepreneur and business owner because it's freaking hard. And it's so much easier to just do a 9 to 5. But the reward you get when you love what you do, like you forget it's 70 hours of work until somebody like brings it up to you.
Yeah,
Right. And then you forget about that because it's like fun and you're building and you're working and it's like it's creating. I've never been artistic or creative until business was introduced to me. Because now there's like you can go so many different directions and you get to pick.
you do.
So
And sometimes I
it's
shut my brain off, and my employees
same.
are like, "Are you okay?" It's like, "I'm great." Why? They're like, "You don't. You just go, go, go."
Well, because they're not like you, right? They're not like if our team members could do the things we do at the level we do, they'd be in our shoes, right?
Yep.
So, but being a duck is a weird thing to feel sometimes, but it's part of what has led to your success. And I've just embraced it at this point and just be true to yourself and like do what's right. And that's just how I was raised, very similar to you, like structuring like good role models in my life. So that's so important. That's what I try to push, not push, what I try to make sure my kids are around is those similar type of lessons in the world, which is completely different than the world that you and I grew up in. It just things change. You got to adapt and keep moving
Yep.
forward.
I
So
agree.
I'm going to let you go. But before we do that, could you tell everybody that's listening any sales or offers that you have coming up? I know we'll be getting into holiday season here. Somebody out there is already buying Christmas presents. I'm
They
not,
are.
but somebody might be. So this is a good option. Also, corporate gifts are on the horizon. And I mean, coming to the end of the quarter here soon, there's probably going to be conversations like that happening as well. So feel free to have any shameless plugs you want. Tell everybody social media they can follow you on, or the best way to actually make a purchase with you.
Awesome. First of all, we do a lot of our sales online. So our website is dandelionnaturals.com. So you can find all of our product line there. We do ship all over the country. We also do a lot of wholesale. So if you're a business owner that wants to carry our product, we are very passionate about that. If you want to get that conversation started, you can certainly email us at hello@dandelionnaturals.com. That all is also on our website. And corporate gifting, that's something that we've been kind of dabbling in over the last 2 years. We work with a company in Rochester called Neighborly Gifts. Heard of them, but it's a really cool concept.
I got
So,
a friend I'm going to introduce you to that
okay.
that has a similar dabbling experience, but he kind of flipped the switch and has really gone into it. We'll do that offline, but
Okay.
it just popped in my mind. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. All of the different opportunities that have come about since I started my business, things I wasn't
Mhm.
even aware of. So, corporate gifting is absolutely one of those. So, we are definitely interested in doing that. And our biggest sale of the year is always the Black Friday weekend. And it's generally a 20% off of everything on our website. So, we haven't set that for this year, but it'll probably be that. So,
Sure.
and we also have a store. We just opened a brick and mortar in Hayfield, Minnesota. So if you want to shop us in person,
You are just doing all the things,
we
Michelle.
are. It was kind of an afterthought, but our community, we just had our grand opening at the end of August and it knocked our socks off. It was amazing. We had a vendor fair set up outside in our lot next to our building. It was a beautiful day. So we've expanded our product line and offerings in our store. We carry a lot of great natural products that we don't make, but we source it from generally other Minnesota makers. So like syrups and honeys and teas and coffees. So there's that
Are you part of that Meet the Minnesota Makers?
Yes, I know them
Yeah,
very well.
it's
Yeah,
great.
we've been in touch with them. So they
That's
actually
awesome.
helped us with a really cool gig in Minnesota with a business in Minnesota that we provide soap to. And quarterly, they order a lot of soap and they give
It's
that to all.
amazing what community and connections can do,
Yep,
isn't it? It
agree.
really is.
So
All right, one last question. We ask everybody that comes on the Homegrown Hustle what hustle means to them in their business.
what hustle means, it's just getting out of bed and doing the thing every day. Seriously, it's simple, but it means it's powerful. I think just getting up and having the right attitude and attacking what needs to be attacked.
Well, Dad always told me keep it simple, stupid. So, I mean, simple is good. And I think he was talking to me there, not so much you. But when you keep it simple and you can get wins like that, it makes things really easy. So, Michelle, thank you again for your time. It's awesome to hear the success. I hope people out there get even just one thing that can help them in their business. I'm looking forward to getting some of your products here as well. Before I let you go, I will get in trouble if I don't do this. My wife told me to make sure I told you thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the products that you let her do as part of her giveaway.
Yeah,
She said she'd been meaning to tell you and she hadn't done it. So I guess by proxy, that's my job. I'm still going to have her reach out to you though. Just have a great rest of your day, Michelle.
thank you.
Thanks everybody for watching. Keep liking, subscribing. Check out Michelle's website. She's got some awesome products. And until next time, keep hustling.
Hey, thanks for tuning into the Homegrown Hustle. It's been an honor to share the stories of local legends who make our community thrive. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Please stay tuned for more insight and inspiration. We got a lot of heat in the chamber. This is Matthew Eickman saying peace out until next time. Get hustling.